After the death of Skandagupta in 467 CE, the Gupta Empire entered a period of internal instability. A number of rival claimants to the throne emerged, and there was a series of civil wars. This instability made it difficult for the Gupta government to defend the empire from its foreign enemies. In addition to the civil wars, the Gupta Empire was also faced with a number of rebellions from its vassal states. The vassal states were increasingly unhappy with the Gupta Empire's rule, and they took advantage of the internal instability to rebel. Although Gupta Empire was one of the most stable empires of India, in late 5th and 6th century, many vassals announced their freedom from confederacy and refused to pay taxes. Gupta Empire was facing economic crisis. In the meanwhile, a threat of a ruthless enemy emerged on the boundaries of Gupta Empire in the form of Huns. The Huns were a nomadic people from Central Asia who invaded the Gupta Empire in the late 5th century CE. The Huns were a powerful and ruthless enemy, and they inflicted heavy damage on the Gupta Empire. The Gupta Emperor Skandagupta was able to defeat the Huns in a decisive battle in 455 CE. However, the Huns continued to raid and attack the Gupta Empire in the following decades. The Huns were pro-West warriors. They used composite bows that were made from multiple woods glued and curved together, which increased the range of arrows. Every warrior had composite bows, double-edged swords, slings, lassos, and small spears, which they used to throw them Gupta army. They also used lassos extensively to dismount them from their horses. Huns have fast mobility due to their light armors, or most of the army was without armor, to increase their mobility. While the Gupta army also had many superiorities in terms of cavalry, Huns faced elephants for the first time in their life. Gupta army was disciplined and well-equipped, but they were equipped with traditional weapons of that time. They had curved swords, long bows, shields, and axes to fight with Huns. But the Huns had new tactics, which the Gupta army was unfamiliar. A number of factors contributed to the Hun invasion. First, population pressure in the arid steppes of Central Asia forced the Huns to seek new lands to settle in. India, with its fertile soil and abundant resources, was a natural target. Second, the Huns were drawn to India's wealth and booty. They also hoped to control the lucrative trade routes that linked India to Central Asia and the West. Third, India was politically fragmented in the late 5th century CE, which made it easier for the Huns to invade and conquer. Finally, the Indian kingdoms were militarily weak at the time, and they were no match for the well-organized and well-equipped Hun army. The Huns invaded India from the northwest, and they quickly conquered a significant portion of the subcontinent. They ruled over India for about 50 years, and their reign was marked by widespread destruction and carnage. The Huns razed cities to the ground, looted temples and monasteries, and massacred or enslaved thousands of people. They also disrupted trade and commerce, which further weakened the Indian economy. The Gupta Empire never fully recovered from the invasion, and it gradually declined in the following centuries. The invasion also ushered in a period of cultural and social upheaval in India. The Huns were originally a nomadic people from Central Asia. They were a diverse group, and their religion varied depending on the tribe. However, most Huns were pagans who believed in Tengri, the sky god. Tengri was a powerful and benevolent god who created the world and everything in it. He was also the god of war and justice. The Huns worshipped Tengri by making sacrifices and offering prayers. In addition to Tengri, the Huns also worshipped a number of other deities, including Erlik Khan, the god of the underworld and death; Ume, the goddess of fertility and childbirth; Kiun, the god of the moon and night; Tengrizi, the goddess of the sun and day. The Huns also believed in a number of spirits and demons. They believed that these spirits could influence their lives for good or for bad, and they made offerings to appease them. The Huns were tolerant of other religions, and they allowed their subjects to practice their own faiths. However, Tengriism was the dominant religion of the Hun Empire. Later, in 7th century CE, they converted to Buddhism. They were present in minority, and mostly people in their kingdom were Hindus, or Buddhist. Gandharan art is a unique blend of Greek and Indian influences, and it flourished in the region of Gandhara, which is now part of Pakistan and Afghanistan, from the 1st to the 7th centuries CE. Turkic people were present in Gandhara during this period, but they were a relatively small minority. The majority of the population was Indian, and it is likely that Indian artists played the leading role in the development of Gandharan art. There are a number of reasons why Gandharan art is considered to be a form of Indian art. First, the subject matter of Gandharan art is almost exclusively Indian. The most common subjects of Gandharan art are Buddhist deities, such as the Buddha and Bodhisattvas. These deities are depicted in a style that is clearly influenced by Indian art. Second, the techniques used to create Gandharan art are also Indian. Gandharan sculptures are typically carved from stone or stucco, and they are often painted. The painting techniques used are similar to those used in Indian art at the time. Some sources do claim that Gandharan art is more closely related to Greek art than Indian art. This is because Gandharan art was created during a period of significant Greek influence in the region, and it shows many stylistic similarities to Greek art. For example, Gandharan sculptures often depict figures in the Greek contrapposto pose, with their weight shifted to one leg, and their hips and shoulders turned in opposite directions. Gandharan sculptures also often have realistic features and drapery, which is characteristic of Greek art. The era of Huns in India is often termed as Turk Shahi dynasty, but it was a relatively weak dynasty, and after the passage of just 50 years, it was replaced by Hindu Shahi dynasty in Gandhara region. There were a number of factors that weakened the Turk Shahi dynasty. First factor was the Arab invasion of India in 8th century CE and rise of Ghaznavids in the west. Second factor was the local support was never with the Huns, and they established their own dynasty. Their founder was the King Kalar. In Punjab, modern-day Pakistan, there is a city in the name of King Kalar, the city of Kalar Kahar. The Hindu Shahi era was a significant period in the history of Punjab, as it was a time of great cultural and political flourishing. The Hindu Shahis were a powerful dynasty that ruled over much of Punjab and parts of Afghanistan and Pakistan from the 10th to the 11th century CE. The Hindu Shahis were patrons of Hinduism and Buddhism, and they built many temples and monasteries during their reign. Some of the most notable examples of Hindu Shahi architecture include the Amb temples in Sakasar and the Mankiyala Stupa in Rawalpindi. The Hindu Shahis were also skilled military leaders, and they were able to defeat the Arabs on several occasions. This helped to protect the region from foreign invasion and to promote the spread of Hinduism and Buddhism. The Hindu Shahi era also saw a flourishing of Punjabi culture and language. The Hindu Shahis were patrons of Punjabi literature and music, and they helped to promote the development of Punjabi identity. Here are some of the key contributions of the Hindu Shahi era to the history of Punjab. The Hindu Shahis were patrons of Hinduism and Buddhism, and they built many temples and monasteries during their reign. This helped to promote the spread of these religions and to enrich the cultural heritage of Punjab. They was able to defend Punjab from foreign invasion. This provided a period of political stability that was essential for the region's development. They were skilled administrators, and they oversaw a period of economic growth in Punjab. This was due in part to the Hindu Shahis' promotion of trade and commerce. The Hindu Shahi era also saw a flourishing of Punjabi culture and language. The Hindu Shahis were patrons of Punjabi literature and music, and they helped to promote the development of Punjabi identity. There are following famous buildings of Hindu Shahi's golden era. The Amb temples are a group of 3 Hindu temples located in the Sakasar Valley in Pakistan. The temples were built by the Hindu Shahi king Anandapala in the 10th century CE. The temples are dedicated to the Hindu deities Shiva, Vishnu, and Brahma. The Am temples are some of the best preserved examples of Hindu Shahi architecture in Pakistan. The temples are decorated with intricate carvings and sculptures, which depict scenes from Hindu mythology. The temples are also a popular pilgrimage site for Hindus from all over the world. The Mankiyala Stupa is a Buddhist stupa located in Rawalpindi, Pakistan. The stupa was built by the Hindu Shahi King Jayapala in the 10th century CE. The stupa is one of the largest Buddhist stupas in the world, and it is also one of the best preserved examples of Buddhist architecture in Pakistan. The Mankiyala stupa is decorated with intricate carvings and sculptures, which depict scenes from the life of the Buddha. The stupa is also a popular pilgrimage site for Buddhists from all over the world. Shahbazgari is an archaeological site located in Mardan, Pakistan. The site was once the capital of the Hindu Shahi kingdom. Shahbazgari is home to a number of ruins, including temples, palaces, and fortifications. Some of the most notable ruins at Shahbazgari include the Hindu Shahi temple, the Buddhist stupa, and the Hindu Shahi fort. The Hindu Shahi temple is a large and well-preserved temple that is dedicated to the Hindu deity Shiva. The Buddhist stupa is a smaller and less well-preserved stupa that is dedicated to the Buddha. The Hindu Shahi fort is a large and well-preserved fort that was once the seat of power of the Hindu Shahi kings. The Guptas Raj temples are a complex of Hindu temples located in Chakwal, Pakistan. The temples are dedicated to the Hindu deity Shiva, and they are one of the most sacred Hindu pilgrimage sites in Pakistan. The Guptas Raj temples are said to have been built in the 10th century CE by the Hindu Shahi king Jayapala. The temples are decorated with intricate carvings and sculptures, which depict scenes from Hindu mythology. The temples are also home to a number of sacred pools and springs. Taxila is an ancient city located in Rawalpindi, Pakistan. Taxila was once a major center of Buddhism and Hinduism, and it is home to a number of archaeological sites, including temples, monasteries, and stupas. Some of the most notable Hindu Shahi remains at Taxila include the Beer Mound, the Sirkap Mound, and the Jandil Mound. The Beer Mound is the largest archaeological site at Taxila, and it is home to a number of Buddhist and Hindu remains, including temples, monasteries, and stupas. The Sirkap Mound is home to a number of Hindu Shahi remains, including temples and palaces. The Jandil Mound is home to a number of Hindu Shahi remains, including temples and fortifications. The Hindu Shahis also made significant contributions to the development of Lahore's infrastructure. They built roads, canals, and bridges, and they improved the city's water supply. See you again in another video from the pages of history. We always need your support in the form of subscription and promotion. If you liked our video, please subscribe to our channel and press the bell button for more videos.